Uh, so basically, what we will cover today's session is that we will see what is fusion and how is it different from R12. And if you see in SCM module, basically we have a lot of changes has come in. So I'll just give the overall idea what are the changes that we have it in Fusion application from R12, and then I'll take you through like how Oracle has developed this Fusion application and the architecture, and I'll give you the enterprise structure. So similar to our multi-arc structure, we have enterprise structure here. So those overview I'll give you here, and then we will have this role-based access control. So that I'll give you a brief introduction, and I'll take you through the system where we will try to create. We have basically a new concept called item class. So with that, we will try to create inventory, or we will try to create an item and all those things. So this is the agenda for today.
Okay.
Okay.
So how about
So
procurement, Arun? We will be covering some part of procurement as well.
procurement. Let's see if time permits. Maybe we will see procurement as well. Or if you wanted to have a theoretical part of procurement, I can give you that part. Because if we take into system, it might take a bit time actually.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, what is Fusion application? So earlier we had the different versions of EBS, that is R12. So basically, Oracle has procured different five companies, and where JD Edwards is good with the procurement and other things, and PeopleSoft has this human capital management, and Sibyl with CRM, and Hyperion for the reporting and the financial part of it, and we have Primera for project. So where Oracle has taken this Hyperion only for the space database and the betterment of budgeting and this. So what we are looking at is the JD Edward for the procurement. So that part I'll explain when we see the procurement module. So basically, these are the five products that Oracle has acquired, and it has come up with this thing. And if you see in R12, we don't have any dashboard or any level of chart and this thing. But if you see in a Fusion application, for everything, we will have this dashboard, and we will see the quick items or the action items that a manager will need it. So I'll get you through when we see it in the system. So this is what made up of for the Fusion application. And then,
Arun, just wanted to make sure, are you recording this session?
yeah, yes, I'm recording.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, if you see R12, that is just an what do you call the on-premise environment. But if you say Fusion is completely the cloud platform. So basically, what is cloud platform? So cloud platform is nothing but that our application and the database will be maintained by Oracle by themselves. So we will give this thing. So what is advantage basically to have a cloud environment? So if we have the cloud environment, we don't need to have a separate DBA to maintain our instance. So basically, Oracle will maintain. This is one part of it. And let's say there is an defect raised by a customer. So if it is an R12, basically we will have to raise again defect by the different customer, and we will receive the patch. But in case of cloud, whatever the defect were raised, it will be applied for the entire version, so that we don't need to raise again and again. So this reduces more of the work. So that is the reason customers are moving to the cloud instead of staying it in on-premise. That is R12. So what are the different modes or different ways of maintaining the cloud applications? So we have this on-premise, then we have infrastructure as a service, and then we have platform as a service, Then we have software as a service. So what Oracle is suggesting is software as a service. So we will see what is basically the difference between all. So there is no much difference between having it. The only thing is at what level we are having the access. So that is where we are differentiating. So if you look at software as a service, where all the control will be with Oracle. So Oracle will maintain the application data, middleware, and the servers, storage, networking. Everything will be handled by Oracle. If you take platform as a service, where customer will have access or the control over application and the data, but still the middleware server and storage will be handled by Oracle. And if you see infrastructure as a service, so similarly, we will have the middleware control application and data. Still, the storage and this thing will be handled by Oracle. So again, here we have public cloud and private cloud. So what is public and what is private? So private is something dedicatedly given to us where we will have our own storage and this thing. Where public is like it is between shared and private is our own storage. So that is the primary difference. So if you see on-premise where we will maintain everything, where infrastructure cost and maintaining the DBA and all those things will add cost to a company. But if you see cloud platform like SaaS model, where everything is handled by Oracle and the cost will be minimized. So this is the advantage in having the cloud application. So this is what even Oracle is suggesting to have as an SaaS model. So this is the primary difference between infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Okay, so how did Fusion architecture has been built, and what is that Fusion got new to us to explore? So basically, if you see here, we have the Fusion application, and then we have the middleware, and then we have the database. The Fusion application is nothing but our financial procurement, supply chain, and we have project accounting, project costing. So this we call application. And then we have a middleware. So for middleware, we have the BPM. So what is BPM? So BPM is business process management. So why do we need business process management? So basically in R12, if you see, we have AME. So AME is used to configure our workflow processes. So similarly, we have BPM to configure our workflow processes. So we have this the PO for the approval. So for that, we will use this BPM to configure the system to route this approval process. And then we have UCM. What is UCM? UCM is Universal Content Manager. So why do we need this? So basically, if you take R12, we have a different set of processes to migrate the legacy data from the legacy system to R12. So where we need a technical resource to build the staging table interface, then moving from the interface to staging to interface, then interface to stage base table. So which involves big process and it is time consuming to migrate the data. But if you take in Fusion application where we will not have much role for the technical
UCM
consultant.
and BPM.
Sorry?
So, UCM and BPM consultant in Fusion application, they won't have much work in them.
Yeah, yes, correct. I mean, BPM we will have definitely because workflow and these things cannot be configured by functional consultant. So technical part will be there, but for the data migration, other things are reduced. Because if you see
It
in, yeah,
is inbuilt in Fusion application.
which one, BPM?
Yeah.
Yeah, BPM is like our AME. So this is the, what do you call, the tool which used to build the workflow. So similarly, how we had it in R12 AME, similarly we have it in BPM. It is just a term change and just on what you call the query level changes. But apart from that,
Basically,
yeah.
he will be taking care of the complete workflow.
No, I mean, I will handle only the functional part of it. Technical, I'm not that good, so I cannot handle BPM.
No, no, I'm just updating you. Like
Yeah,
the BPM consultant will be taking care of the workflow and all.
yes, yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So then, I mean, so why do we need UCM? Is that we can migrate the data very easily. So how does this work? Is that so basically we have repositories. So after the session, maybe I'll share the link like how do we download the templates and all those things from Oracle site. So basically, we have these templates and we can download the template. For example, let's say we are migrating maybe supplier. So we have a template. So we will give it to customer. So customer will fill the details according to the given format. We will just upload. So there is a process to upload the supplier. So maybe I can say the concurrent name that is load interface file for import. So what this will do is that this will import the data into this UCM. From there, the data will be pushed to interface table again through this import process. So from there, the data are imported to the base table. So this entire process is automated. So this is done with UCM, Universal Content Manager. So this is, I mean, if we take R12, this is little bigger process compared to Fusion application. So where we will not need any technical consultant to work on that. And apart
On the
from that,
on the fusion side.
yeah, on Fusion,
So in this screen share, you are showing me the middleware BPM, UCM, BPEL, and SOA.
yeah,
So does this middleware will be working in R12 or R13?
I mean Fusion application version you are asking.
Yes,
Yeah, it is R13.
R13.
Yeah,
So in R13, middleware are the BPM, UCM, BPEL, and SOA.
yeah, yes, we have it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is what UCM is all about, and then we have WPL and SOA. So basically, this is used for the integration part of it, where we have the third-party application, and we will need to plug in between both the applications. So for that, we will use WPL and SOA,
Okay,
and then we have the database. So database, as I said earlier, that Hyperion has this S-based database which Oracle has acquired and it has plugged in this Space database for the betterment of reporting. So this is only the financial part of it. I'll just give an idea so that you will have it. So basically Fusion DB is understandable that whatever data we enter, it is stored there. And what is Space database? So Space database is something where the accounting data will be stored into this particular database so that it will be stored in a cubical value for a betterment of reporting. So you can take it in any different combination. So that is the idea of S-based database.
okay, got it.
Yeah. So this is I just explain what it is and this thing. So this is enterprise structure. So how is it different from R12? So if you see the entire structure, you can see that Honeywell Group. I mean, I have just taken for example. So Honeywell Group is an enterprise. And if you see division, we will not see this division in R12. So this is new concept here in Fusion application. And then if you see the last one, that is item master organization. So you know that item master organization is not a physical unit where this is a virtual unit. So how Oracle has came up is that the inventory arc, the multiple inventory arc can be attached to a single item organization. So again, this depends on the company client's decision whether to have one or country-wise or multiple. So this is always a choice, but still we have an option to have a global item master organization. And then we have division and the distribution center. So distribution center, this is only an reporting part of it where it captures the distribution center activities and it will report to the management. And division is nothing but our line of business. So let's say we have 10 different line of business for one company. So we have maybe the electronics, we have fire equipments, and then we have sensors. Similarly, we have different line of business. So we can define each line of business. Under each line of business, we might have different legal entities working for it. And we have the ledgers, we will define ledgers for the different LEs, and we will attach the business unit against it. And then we will attach this distribution center for the both the LEs. So under this distribution, we will have the inventory organization. And for this inventory organization, for every inventory organization, we will have to attach the item master organization. And what is new here is that if you take R12, we will have the business group. So business group basically we can define for different countries. But here in Fusion, we cannot define one enterprise for more than one country or anything. Enterprise is always one. So how are we going to work with the different country level thing? So we have a concept called legislative data group. So what is the legislative data group is that it will allow us to work or it will allow us to configure for a different countries where we can attach the legislative data group with the legal entity for a different countries. So legal entity is always a country specific. So we can attach this legislative data group to this legal entity and we can make use of having at a different country level configuration. But if you take the enterprise, it is always one. So what is business unit? So business unit is nothing but our operating unit. This is just a term change. So we will see how it will work and all those things. So basically we have this operating units created in Fusion application and we will have the business unit functions. So what is this business unit function? So business unit function is nothing but if I'm working for this particular business unit, what are the functions that this business unit can do? Whether it can make invoice, it can receive the payments, what exactly it can do. So this is what we call business unit functions. So at a high level, so this is the structure. So the on top we will have the enterprise, and then we will have the division, and below that we will have the primary ledger where we will have the multiple legal entities attached to it, and we will have business units assigned to it, and we have the distribution center that is again for a reporting purpose. Then we will have the inventory arc and the master, item master, and then we will have the sub inventories. So this is enterprise structure. And then we have Fusion roles and users. So what is Fusion role or RBAC we call? So basically, if you see in R12, we don't have the concept of role-based access control. So role-based access control, where we will have is that only for at the level of the HRMS. So when you have this leave and approval management, so basically it is based on role. If I have a manager role, I can approve this leave. So this is how R12 works. But as in Fusion application, it is entirely new. So where we don't have the concept of menus, responsibilities, submenus, and these things. So Fusion will work only on the role-based access control. So let's say I'm an inventory super user. So basically, what I will do is I will receive the items. So I will have roles only for this receiving the item. and again we will have the inventory arcs attached to it. So unless I have the access to this particular inventory arc, I will not be able to receive the item. So this is done through this customizing the roles. So we don't have the concept of menus and submenus. We have the concept of roles. So it is always based on the roles. So if I have the role, I can access the system. So this is all about the Fusion application. And here we in roles we have different roles. So what is job role? What is duty role? What is data role? What is abstract role? So job role is nothing but the collection of work that an employee will do on a particular given day. So let's say I receive an item and maybe if I will also create an item, so that is again the collection of my work. So that we call job role. And then we have a duty role. So duty role is kind of a specific item that we will do. Maybe receive an item. We have two things. One is item creation and the other is item receipt. So I will say item creation as an one role. So that we call duty role. And then we have a data role. So data role is something to give an access to the user. So that we call data role. That is giving access to the particular inventory arc. And then we have abstract role. So abstract role is something that we assign this particular role to a particular employee. So this we will see in custom role basically. So when we are customizing the role, are we customizing at only the data role level, or that is only for a specific inventory unit, or this role will be used only for a particular employee? So this is what defines the roles. So these are the four different roles that we have it in Fusion application. And then we have users. So if you take an R12, so if you take user is always an user. It is based on the responsibilities that have assigned to me. I can do either setup or the transaction. But if you see in Fusion application, basically there are two kind of users. So one is employee user and the other is implementation user. So how will this will be different? So employee user can do only transaction in the system, whereas he will not be able to access any part of the setup. So what is implementation user? So implementation user is meant only to the setup or implement the offerings or the